Welcome to Calling Cousins. This is Cousin Ash, married with two kids, a boy and a girl, calling from Arizona. We want to thank everyone for joining us today.
Cousin Shaw here. I'm a single mom of one boy calling from Colorado. Parenting can be beautiful, but it can also be ugly. We hope these topics bring you and your family some knowledge and understanding.
Silence is golden, unless you have a toddler. All right, the topic we have for today is autism, and we have a special guest. We would like everyone to meet Ashley.
Hi.
Yay!
What a
uh,
nerd.
Ashley, I have to tell a little bit of a background story on how Ashley is in my life because it's always funny.
Yes. The classic
So,
story.
so Ashley was one of my brother's first boyfriends when they were
I
16.
was the boyfriend.
Wait,
Yeah, I was gonna
girlfriends.
say.
Brother's
Uh,
girlfriend when they were 16, I think, right?
Mhm.
16? Okay.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, when they broke up, I just couldn't say goodbye for some reason. And here we are, what, 20, almost
21 years later.
20, yeah, over 20 years later,
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
friends. That's how
Almost
I
And like
roll,
a grown
guys.
adult
a
later.
second mom to my kids.
For sure,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's cool because who we're talking about today, and I'll let Ashley speak more to it, obviously, but Ashley's first son, I bonded with that kid, and I don't understand. Like, he was the first child that I had like all the memories with, and I was just like, I remember since day one, and it's been really cool to watch him grow, and yeah, and so, Ashley, I'll let you introduce yourself. If you could tell our listeners where you're calling from and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So again, my name is Ashley. I'm calling from Colorado, and I've been married for, let's see, he's 12, so 13, almost 14 years now. You have to base it
Not
on something.
not my
I
brother,
get
not my
that.
Yeah,
brother.
no. Another wonderful human being. And we have two boys together, 12 and 10 years old.
Insane.
And apparently our lovely little concoction of us together have created these wonderful boys with, with a whole slew of things going on, and it's a fun time over here.
I really feel like you guys are like the definition of it takes a village, like you got
Yeah.
all these aunts, and I know your family is really involved and all that
Yeah.
stuff too. So it's awesome though. It's so great to have
It
that.
does. It does take a village, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And we have just had this crazy fun journey of more like a roller coaster of a journey, and it's a never-ending roller coaster. And that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it makes it better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and the crazy thing is like when you like, especially when you first find out you're pregnant or, starting a family or whatever, like your life is like, oh my gosh, like everything's changing and I'm so stressed out and how am I going to be able to handle it? And, and then the next thing you're here 12 years later and you're handling it and
Yeah.
you have another one and you just figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of my life I have been a firm believer of you're never you're never going to be like ready for anything in
Mhm.
life. I think you can prepare, and you can, read up on things and study and all that kind of stuff, but I don't truly feel like you're ever like quote unquote ready for something. It just life happens, and if you can learn to kind of roll with the punches and make the best of everything, I don't know. I just think that that's kind of how we have to cope to live, and I feel like you will live a much smoother, happier existence when you can just accept something and be like, "Okay, let's roll with this and let's see how this is going to go for us." And I think that's how we approached everything, that we've found out with, especially our firstborn, but with both boys, really.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
Well, let's dig into that because I have some questions. I don't know if
Yeah,
cousin does, but let's go ahead and get the ball rolling.
All right. I think we had mentioned that yeah, in the beginning we're talking about autism. So, um, why don't you start with your journey with that? How did you know that your son was autistic?
yeah.
Or how did you find
So
out?
I think a little bit of like backing up, just a tiny bit of background for me. I have two cousins on my mom's side who are both on the autism spectrum. One, and when I say autism spectrum, it is a spectrum. Like, imagine a line and you can fall anywhere on that line, just like with anything in life.
Right.
We're all different. We all don't just fall on this spot on the line. We're all over the place. So I growing up, I had my cousin who's my age. Actually, he's 37 now. He's on the more severe end of the autism spectrum. Um, I would say it's more like what maybe people our age or a little bit older tend to think of as autism, like what they picture maybe in their heads. He's nonverbal. He, didn't go to traditional schools, all that kind of stuff. And then I have another cousin who is 10 years younger than him, and he's also on the spectrum. And I'd say he's a little bit closer to my son on that big, vast line. and um, so I was always kind of around it in throughout my life growing up. Um, when my oldest was born, um, he everything seemed fairly, normal, the first year. And maybe it took a little bit longer for him to walk, but nothing crazy. But then around a year to a year and a half old, he started to really get angry. He would have a lot of aggression, and which is hard to picture sometimes with such a cute little squishy bald baby. You're like, how does this little thing like have anger? But he truly did. He would get so frustrated that he would hit himself. Like, he would go like this over and over and over again, and like hard, which is
Mm-hmm.
scary as a parent.
Well,
Right.
and I
What
remember
the Yeah.
he did
Yeah.
both. Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember his birthday party?
I was gonna bring that up
Yeah.
because that's like grained in my mind.
Same, same. And it started before that, but that was the
But
hitting
it's
himself, the self-harm is what they call it. That was like a first kind of trigger. I was like, why is he doing this? I had a lot of friends who had babies within like 6 to 9 months of my oldest, and you know, you don't want to compare, but you compare
you
because
do.
we
It's
Yeah.
did.
natural. Yeah.
And
I agree. It's
and
natural.
they were all older than my boy, and they were all boys. So it's like even better kind of comparison. And I was like, nothing like this is happening with them. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then, so I had suspicions around that age, around 1. And then come 2 years old, um, he wasn't talking. He wasn't even showing interest in like making sounds or anything like that. He wasn't showing like eye contact or like pointing at things, little things like that. And immediately I was like, I think there's something going on. You know, this is clearly possibly prevalent in my family.
Right.
Maybe this is autism. Maybe. Um, so kind of moving forward just a little bit, around 3 years old, he still wasn't talking, so he started to get like speech intervention. um and we started to do that, and the therapist would come to our house, which was amazing. And they would do this speech therapy with him like multiple times a week. Finally, after a few months, they were like, have you ever considered like looking into testing to see if there is something else going on? And that was like the light switch that I needed to be turned on to be like, okay, someone else is seeing this too.
Yeah.
Let's move forward with getting testing and just see what's going on. So
So sorry, I
that's
want to
kind of how it
pause right
started.
here.
Yeah.
How did you feel at that point? Like, were you sad or were you like so excited because somebody else saw it and there was like a step forward? Or did
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
feel
that's a
sad at
good
all?
question. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like to talk about that because I think leading up to that point, it was pure stress and like, what can I do to help, you know, fix this or push
Fix
this
this, help
along?
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
had no guidance.
no guidance. And
Yeah.
so up until that point, it was like, okay, what's going on? You know, like, are we doing something? Are we not giving him enough attention? You know, the whole long
Right.
list of
All
things.
the things. Yeah.
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 Um,
Blaming yourself or
yeah,
whatnot. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
totally. I mean, we all do it. And
yeah.
so once someone else said something, I was like, okay, like this is good. Let's move forward with getting this diagnosis. And it's a process. Like they told me this at like maybe 3.5 years old, and we couldn't get him diagnosed until he was like just before 4 years old.
Yeah,
Um,
they say something like they have to, and I actually thought it was later. I thought it was after 5
yeah, it
to be
depends.
officially
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it
I
depends.
agree.
Because I wanted to do it sooner, and they were like, "No, no,
For
no, we
sure.
really should wait until he's at least 4, almost 4."
Well, and
Uh,
honestly, it's probably the same things you were saying at the beginning. He's a boy, like that it could just be a phase or whatever. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
say he saw another kid acting like that, so he thought
yes,
that's how he was supposed to act. So they
yeah,
got to let all that actually, like, has this been consistent for 3 years, I guess, if it was around
yeah,
4, yeah.
and, like and going kinda to that next step of, like, going through the process of these evaluations to see really, like, with the not the therapists, like, with the psychologists, going through these evaluations and then having to wait on these results
Oh,
was, like, the worst month of my life. But then going in and sitting down and having that meeting with them and them pretty much saying like, yeah, like he has autism. A lot of people ask me like, did you cry? Were you guys saddened? Like, did you feel a weight, on your shoulders?
see, I feel like it would have been
It was the opposite. We
yeah.
felt a weight lifted off of our shoulders because one, we weren't crazy. Like, we we didn't do anything, we weren't
Right.
Right.
crazy. We now had an answer and a
A
path.
map.
We
Yeah, you
had
had somewhere
a
to go.
path to go down that had not fixes because it's never a fix. It
No.
was tools. We had a path of tools to learn and to go down and pick up our tools along the way. And it was a relief because we knew we weren't alone and we knew that we now had the tools to be able to help him.
Well,
And
and
it was
you had a
great.
community now. You had a
Yes.
community
Yeah.
that you could ask questions and guidance, and you could
Yeah.
help your baby boy, and I'm sure you did
Yeah.
cry,
Oh, 100%. I mean,
but happy tears.
that's like an everyday occurrence, but
Yeah.
it's a lot. But no, it just felt good to have, a path to go down. That's
Yeah.
really what it came down to.
I love that. And I mean it is crazy like what you're saying. I don't know if it's I used to think that it was like a state by state thing 'cause obviously out here in Arizona is different than what might be in
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah.
But now I'm wondering if it's like a practice thing or an insurance thing maybe because I had heard the same thing actually when we had our foster children. One of the children, I wanted to get them tested because I thought it was more, I don't know, ADHD, but when I looked up the symptoms of both of them, a lot of them are like
They're very
this all the
similar.
way down, especially
And
the younger the kid is.
they can go very hand in hand. So my oldest has ADHD and autism, and technically my youngest has ADHD also, which is that's more prevalent in him, and technically they said he has some autism too. So they
Okay.
do go hand in hand, but both of my boys one has more
One's
of the
higher.
autism, one has more of the, and it's weird to explain it like that, but that's just the easiest way to understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
mean, I do believe that they go hand in hand and it's
yeah,
like a mixing bowl, kind
it
of thing
is.
where it's like, some days it's more like this and some days it's more like this and you never
Yes.
know and it's fine.
100%.
But
Well, and
at
if
the
I
time when we
remember,
had
oh, go ahead.
them, they wouldn't even let us test the child until they were 6. And
Wow.
so we were like
See?
trying to figure out like preschool help and all that kind of stuff. And like we were
Yeah.
also already in speech therapy, OT therapy. They needed all the therapies except for physical therapy. So yeah, they needed everything. And I still could not get an official diagnosis until they were 6. And then yeah, personally, like with my son, I was able to get him, but his was dyslexia, like that's what we took him in for.
Yeah.
But it was a full neurodivergent panel. And so they were testing for everything as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was only 5 when we did that. So I'm like, even then, that doesn't even add up. And I feel
Isn't
like it was so
yeah.
crazy. And then my friend, whose son also just got diagnosed with autism, he is only 3. So I'm like, okay, so maybe it just depends on the severity, the doctor, I'm not sure,
It
but
might. Yeah,
but
and
it's
I do
it's
think it
cool to know that it can happen young so that you can get the
yes.
tools early on.
Well, and that's just it too. That's what's so frustrating about it is, I mean, it does vary by state. 100%. It does. And you can look up like, like a map and it'll show you like these states are like really supportive and have great tools. These ones have none. Like, and it varies state by state, unfortunately. Um
That sucks.
it
Yeah.
does. Yeah, and it does make it really hard, and it's even more frustrating because they say more and more the younger you can figure out this stuff and start interventions, the better off they are. And I 1,000% agree with that because I do not think my son would be in the state, not like the country state, but in the state of mind that he is in today without those early interventions that we did for so many years. He would not be functioning like he is now. There's no way. So
Well, and
I love that for
frustrating.
him.
Yeah.
I have a teacher friend that she has mentioned before that they can't properly diagnose the kid until they're like at least gone through kindergarten. And so like there's parents that she constantly they come up and they say, "Oh, like they're showing this, they're showing that or whatever." And she's like, "Nope, like we can't even legally diagnose them until they at least go through
Through
kindergarten."
the
And I'm
school
wondering,
process,
yeah,
because
maybe
there's
that's
also,
it.
like there's, like, 2 sides of it. There's
Yeah.
once you're in the school system, the school can offer a an evaluation and a but they can't technically diagnose, so that's why they want
Oh.
to wait a little bit longer, but, like, on the private side, like, we had to go to a private psychologist to do our evaluations, and that gave us, like, the legal diagnosis of
Wow.
everything. Yeah.
And
So,
then I wanted to ask one question on the line you were talking about, the
yeah.
scale, right?
Mhm.
Because if I feel like I remember you were saying it was like a level 1 through 4 type thing. Is
Yeah.
that is has that changed or is that still
It's funny, I was thinking about that the other day, like, I wonder if it has changed, because it had recently changed right before we got him diagnosed.
okay? They're
Um
finding more levels.
Yeah, well, not necessarily more levels. So when he was diagnosed, it was off of 3. It was 3
Oh, 3.
numbers,
Okay.
and you were either, like, level 3, which is, like, more severe, and they base it off of needs. So, level 3
Oh.
was, like, more severe, and which means, like, you needed more intervention. Maybe, like, you're nonverbal, you need more permanent, like, toiletry help, um, all that
Oh.
kind of stuff. And then level 2 was, like, you're maybe a little more self-functional, maybe you're nonverbal, maybe you're speaking. It's kind of that middle ground. And then level 1 was like you didn't need as many interventions. You were maybe I'm not a great person to explain this, but like maybe you're closer to like the ADHD kind of, because like
Ah,
I think that falls on the spectrum also. Like it's there. So like you're kind of more that level. So my oldest was diagnosed at level 2. And so he's kind of in that like middle ground of like he is probably always going to need some extra help with X, Y, and Z, but he's very like self-sufficient in like his daily life activities. Like he can dress himself, he can brush his own teeth, he can feed himself. He can do all that. It's more the intellectual like school side is how I explain it, and social side that he struggles with a little bit more.
okay. I was gonna
Yeah.
ask about the social side, like if he gets like the loud noises and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
he definitely used to. He's gotten better about
Oh,
it.
because he had the
Remember
headphones.
he would wear his headphones a lot. He
Yeah.
couldn't go anywhere without them. As he's gotten older, he's actually kind of I don't wanna say he's grown out of it, but I think he's learned coping tools to help with that, and it doesn't affect him as much. Randomly, it'll affect him and we're like, "Oh my gosh, like we don't like we don't have headphones anymore, like what do we do?" But
We're
he's
not
older
prepared for them.
but he's older now, so we're like, "Here, like here's AirPods or something."
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as he's gotten older, I feel like some things that used to affect him more severely when he was younger, he has learned coping tools to the point where they don't really affect him anymore, which is great. And that's where that early intervention, I feel like, really comes in. It took years, but it has helped.
Um, I wanted to ask, does he ask questions? Like, is he ever like, hey, like, am I struggling in this format because of?
Yeah, so that's a more recent thing. Um,
Okay.
when he was younger, like first to fourth grade, I would say, we would try to kind of mention it like, hey, like, have you heard of, this thing called
Oh,
autism? Like, you have it. Like, and we would kind of like explain it maybe a little bit, but it went in one ear and out the other.
he's probably like,
Yeah,
okay.
he was like, okay, mom.
I also ate a grilled cheese.
Yeah,
I
Like,
know.
exactly. Yeah. So then for a while there, we were like, who cares? Like, he doesn't need to know, like he's just living his best life and that's all
right,
that matters.
right.
Um,
Still
as
matters. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So as he got older, it wasn't really until he's in 7th grade now, so it wasn't really until like
Man.
I know, like the end of 5th grade when he's always severely struggled with school. His like working memory is non-existent. Um and he's just always really struggled in school. So as he started to get a little bit older, like 5th grade into 6th grade, he really started asking like, why don't I get this? Like, why don't I understand this? And we would explain to him again, like, oh, honey, like, your brain and like the wires in your brain, instead of being like this, they're maybe just a little, they're a little out there sometimes.
Get a little
Yeah,
loopy.
look, you
Yeah.
got little squigglies in there, and that's okay. But it might mean that, you know, X, Y, and Z is going to be a little bit harder for you to unravel or
Hmm.
understand. Um, and so he does ask questions here and there. Now he just sees it as like a blanket, like kind of diagnosis. And now he's just like, he's very self-doubting, which is hard.
That's hard.
And well, with school especially, um, and now it's just kind of like that blanket excuse of like, well, I don't understand this because I'm stupid and I have autism.
Oh,
It's
babe.
like,
Aw.
no. like
Yeah.
like yes, this might be hindering some things, but you are not stupid. You are just learning at your level. Like
Yeah.
Not everyone is fitting into this little box, like live outside your box. That's
Well,
okay.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like that should just be across the board. Anybody, like you
Right.
learn
100%.
differently and
Mhm.
like eventually he will find tips and tricks that work for
Yes.
him,
Yes.
and but it's hard to be in his position in all
Mhm.
of our positions, right? Like we've all had some sort of struggle in our life that we've overcome.
100%. Yeah.
This is his struggle right now. And
Yes. Yes.
he hasn't, so it's hard to like get him to that point. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Yeah. But I feel like ever since he was little, because things never came quote unquote easy for him, when he did cross those hurdles or, you know, accomplish something, it was like heaven's gates opened, and it was always like the most amazing, best feeling in the world for us and for him.
Him,
And
okay, good.
because nothing ever has come easy. And he's stubborn. This kid is stubborn as a mule. You know, this kid is, I mean, this
He
poor
must be your
thing.
child.
Yeah,
I
he's
was gonna
and
say,
he's
but
just like me. Yeah, poor child. Um, he's
Poor,
so
poor
stubborn.
mama.
And he ever since a really young actually, I always claim it's since birth because that kid was 2 weeks late
He
and
was. I
did
forgot
not
about
wanna
that.
come out, and I was like, "He's been stubborn since birth." Um, but he to this day, he will not try something until he knows internally that he can, like, master it. So, he will watch and observe and sit on the sidelines for a long time if he needs to, until he knows the second he actually tries, he can do it. And it can be frustrating and it can be hard, and he's literally done it in every situation: crawling, walking, talking, potty training, school. I mean,
Yeah.
just like everything. Riding a bike, everything. Um so it's really interesting to see how that works for him. That he I don't know if it's like a confidence thing. He doesn't really.
I don't know. I feel like it might just be
Oh,
that's how he's studying it. And he's like, why would
yeah,
I try it if I know I can't do it? Like, I'll just
yeah,
keep he's not giving up. He's not never trying things. He's
yeah,
just
yeah,
give me a minute,
yeah, and we've
and
always kinda joked.
Studying.
Yeah, yeah, we've always kinda joked, like, "Oh, we'll get there one day. He's just gonna wake up one day and be like, 'I can do this.'" And then we're like, "Oh, there he goes, like, doing it."
that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I also
Uh,
just have to give you guys props. Like you and your husband you're like the most patient but fun parents that I've ever met. And so
Thank
like
you.
you guys were like made for this, I swear,
We
because
try.
you've got that patience, but also like you're like, all right, it's okay. We can work through this. We'll have fun with it. Like we
Yeah,
can do it.
yeah,
We can prevail kind of
yeah,
thing.
oh
And
and I
you
yeah.
really
still have
think
a happy home.
yeah, I think that's what it really comes down to, and I do feel like he has thrived. I mean, I don't wanna toot my own horn, but I do
Toot
feel like
toot.
he has thrived to a point because of the household that we have. My husband and I have a ton of fun together, and we are best friends, and we treat our children that way also. They are just in a they're attached to us, and they are just
An
more best
extension, yeah.
friends.
Mhm.
And we do believe in mutual respect, like we respect that they are their own person and they need to learn on their own too, and in return, we want some respect towards ourselves, and if we're their kids, nothing, it's always going to be
Right.
chaos, but I think we work together as a team, and as they've grown up we work even more as a team. And and the patience, you say there's patience. My husband is patient. I mean, his patience is saint level. I have patience until I need to then leave the room and cry in a closet. And
Okay, so you have mom
Yeah.
patience.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, Ashley, I remember when he was littler, many times where he would have his little tantrums,
Yeah.
and I would start to get overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do? And then you would come over and you would be like this, okay, baby, let's,
Yeah.
sit down, let's talk about it. What happened? And your voice always calmed me down, and I was just like, whoa. And meanwhile,
like,
in my head, I'm like, like, how would I deal with this? And
Yeah.
and your husband was the same way. I remember one instance very vividly. Your son was he was mad about something. I think it was food related.
Shocker.
And
Yeah.
and he threw it. He threw it, and like your husband had to like it's a weird position. I'm gonna try to describe it, but like your husband was on the ground and he just had to like grab his hands to like get him to calm down. And I just remember your son, and he was like maybe 2 foot tall, okay, like still diapers, and he
Yeah.
like squatted down and his little butt was poking out, and it was just like the sweetest little moment because I just saw like your husband straight to him and they were just talking it out, and your son was just like okay, and then he calmed down and then he fell on the
Yeah.
bed or something.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like many times I saw both of you with patience and grace, and it's it's hard to do that. I mean, me and cousin talk about it all the time where we
It
wish we had
is. It's very
more
hard.
patience.
It's
And
hard at any parenting level to do that. It really is because they all make you want to pull your hair out sometimes. Yeah. Why do you think I'm so gray now? Like, I look at my son and I'm like, honey,
this is you.
this is
all
you.
you. This is
You know
pure
what I
love.
tell you?
But
I'm going white here, but it looks like highlights, so I'm like fine.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
You
like,
can
you
tell
can't
yet.
tell with mine.
No,
I'm too
no.
light yet.
it's crazy, and I think when you're in the moment, just like again in any parenting situation, like you're surviving and you're making the best of it, and you're just kind of going day by day, sometimes hour by hour, and you just have to figure it out, because what else are you gonna do? You're not gonna drop him
I
off
know.
in the corner and drive away, like, you're not gonna do that. So, like,
Right.
you just have to figure it out and keep moving forward and making the best of it. And I definitely I find that when I talk about certain situations now, when he was young, especially like 7 and under was the hardest times for us. And when I talk about them now, certain situations, I find that I get like flustered a little bit sometimes, or I get, yeah, hot and kind of panicked. And I realize that I kind of have like, I don't know if trauma is the right word, but
I
you
totally
kind of
believe
like
that.
have to step
Yeah.
back and be like, wow, like I did go through a lot. It didn't feel like it at the moment, but because
I
you
would
just
call
push
it,
through.
yeah, I would call it more of like a trigger, like
Yeah,
a PTSD trigger. It was a moment in your
100%.
time that you were, on all eight cylinders just trying to survive, and that was a very high stress point, and so
Yeah,
your body is going into defense mode again thinking
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
So totally makes sense.
100%.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah. I get that even when I look at pictures. I'll look at pictures from like the best day of my kid's life and I'll be like, I was a bad mom that day. Like it just brings you right back to that and you're like,
Oh
I
yeah.
yelled at them for
yeah,
this. So I can't even
yeah.
imagine like all the high emotions going through that time and you're like, oh, that was a
And then you're like,
day.
how did I
Like,
survive? Like
I
how
know.
yeah.
and how am I like, I don't know. I probably shouldn't say it, but like how am I not like an alcoholic now or something?
No,
You know what I
totally
mean?
though,
Like how
because
did I not cope in other ways?
yeah. So you just
I
had the love there.
Yeah,
And
I
got
yeah.
was
you through
broke.
it.
It's
Yeah.
amazing what
Couldn't
you
afford alcohol.
that too. You
Oh my
didn't have
gosh.
time to even go get it.
Right. Right.
But it's
Oh boy.
amazing what we're capable of as moms. Like, we're so incredibly capable, and I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. I mean, no, none of us do. We don't.
Psh, I do. I think I'm perfect.
Barbara's like, I'm the shit.
Winning. Parents
Yeah.
have got it on lockdown.
I don't know about you, but I'm doing
I don't know
pretty
about you
good.
guys, but I have no issues.
I am flying high.
Son is perfect.
Yeah, totally.
I haven't
Same,
had to teach
dude.
him through anything. It's going great.
No,
I'm great.
my kids are just like next level saints. They don't
Right?
cause me
Yeah.
any problems ever.
No, psh, that's what is that? I do have a dumb question.
No dumb questions.
What is the difference between autism and, by the way, I just learned when I was Googling it, it's with a P,
Yes.
Asperger's. I've been
Yes.
saying
F
Asperger's.
burgers.
It's the way it's
Sure.
spelled, isn't it? PB?
No, there's no B. It's A.
Really?
Wait.
It was a guy's
Hold
name.
on.
Hold on.
I just know it was
'Cause-
a guy's like last name, I'm pretty sure.
I'm now seeing my red underline saying that I spelt it wrong. So hold on.
I thought there was a B.
No, Aspergers.
Really?
It's just with a capital A. I didn't put the capital A.
Um,
So yeah, I thought it was burgers, maybe because I'm a fat kid, but what's the difference? I know
So-
there's a massive difference.
yeah, so I think, well, I wouldn't say massive because
No?
I mean, I'm no doctor, but Asperger's has now been just put onto the autism spectrum.
Really?
It has enveloped it. And
Really?
That's the
Okay.
same as ADHD and ADD. They just
Oh, okay, I guess
combined.
I knew that
the-
one.
Yeah.
yeah, and they just used to be how I understand it is like back in the day when they, maybe didn't know exactly what was going on, or they didn't quite understand that like it was a spectrum. I think the kiddos that were maybe a little more on like the end of level 2, level 3 section of the autism spectrum were considered autistic. And then like the lower level of 2 and 1 were probably more considered Asperger's. And
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
that-
I thought it would be
that's
the
best
opposite.
way-
But
Me too. Me
that's
too.
the best way that I can explain it and understand it. Like from my research and stuff, I could be very wrong, but that's how I understand it. And then it was brought just kind of into one spectrum.
I also wanted to comment on that when you were talking about the spectrum. First of all, I love that you didn't say like worse. Like 3 is like the worst, like your terminology with everything is so graceful. I love it because
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing. Like you
No,
shouldn't be
no.
upset, like I
Yeah.
understand you're gonna go through a little more trials with it, but it's
Yeah.
not worse. And I
Yeah.
just love that you didn't say that. Like I fully expected that to be like, oh, 3 is worse and 1 is the
Yeah.
best.
'Cause that's what I
to be
would've
like,
said.
but that's right. But like
Yeah.
because you've like lived in it, I feel like your terminology is so much more graceful. Like I remember one time, it was such an idiot, like years ago, I was talking to this poor woman and she her daughter had autism and she was nonverbal and I kept saying mute, like mute, and she kept correcting me and she was like nonverbal. And like now I look back and I was like, why didn't I fix like what I was saying? Like why wasn't why didn't I correct it? And it's just I just wasn't even there.
I think we're just used to using certain terminology in this world that it just becomes part of our language also.
So is mute a different? I have never even thought about using mute either.
I think it's just an outdated terminology.
Mute might be more like if you're born,
like you don't have vocal cords or something.
I don't know.
I feel like it's outdated. Like
I'm no doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But something else I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I just wish and I feel like that I'm happy we're having this conversation and it's going to be on the podcast because I feel like there are so many people out there who are intimidated talking about it because they're going to say stupid things like mute.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
And also, like I don't know, it's like they don't want to offend anybody, which I totally get that, but at the same time you shouldn't
Asking
Feeling
questions
avoid
is not
somebody for
offensive.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I do feel like with anything, with everything in life, it's a two-way street. Like I can't also assume that you're going to know everything or you're going to know, what we consider the kosher terminology or whatever it is. Like I think
Yeah.
it goes both ways, and if you're on either side, if you're willing to open your mind and educate and also learn, that's what life's all about. I mean, we're all going through life constantly learning and educating and
Yeah.
in any way. And I think if if your mind and your heart is open to learning it and then the opposite of educating it, then we're all just we're all just living this life
We're
like
trying to
Yeah.
survive.
But
yeah,
I agree
like
with that.
we're
Like,
all
be
gonna make
respectful.
mistakes and yeah, and we all just need a little kindness, and
Yeah,
it's really
I
all we
agree.
need.
Speaking of kindness, I wanted to touch a little bit about the different kind of programs and stuff that your son was able to be a part of.
Mhm.
That I was at the autism community, or was it? I don't even know what
Yeah,
community.
first off, we started with like a state organization in Colorado that provided the early intervention for the speech therapy. That was huge. Then once he turned 4, we through that program, we were told and were then able to reach out to another or a nonprofit program in our area in Colorado that assists and helps families with kiddos with disabilities, essentially.
Okay.
And that can be autism, that can be cerebral palsy, that could be Down syndrome. I mean, it's a whole slew of things. Um,
Okay.
and that program started when he was 4 years old, and he can actually be on it, I think, through 18, if not even a little older. And this program um provides communal, benefits for families where they might pull in speakers to talk about something and we can like go to these seminars, or they partner with local organizations where you can maybe go play somewhere for free that has like a sensory special time. um
Okay.
or there's like therapists who will come in and be like, hey, I'm going to offer like discounted programming to like your families so that they can get it at a severely discounted rate. Um,
That's cool.
and they also like each kiddo within the organization gets like funding through them via like their nonprofit. And so like especially when he was younger, we were able to like receive money to help pay for like not childcare like traditional childcare, but like
Hmm.
if I needed to go grocery shopping and needed to get things done and like my mom watched him for an afternoon, I could then request money for like respite care to then pay my mom to
Oh,
watch.
interesting.
Yeah, so like this program has been phenomenal for us, and I think a lot of places have programs like this.
Okay, I've
They're
never heard of that one.
they're dedicated to these specific areas. And then on top of that, we especially when he was younger, we did a lot with the autism community, like in the Denver area. And that's been a lot of fun. And then most recently, um, well, not most recently, for the last 4 years, he's been involved with Special Olympics, which has
That's
been
right.
probably the best thing that we ever got involved with. They are an insanely incredible organization. I will stand on the rooftops and preach them all day long because they are the best human beings in the world. They provide these incredible programs for kiddos as young as like 4 years old throughout their whole life that they can try out and experience sports for free to us, and it's all volunteer based, and
That
he
is
gets to
so
try out
cool.
sports throughout the year, and sports that he would normally probably be overwhelmed to do, especially in this day and age, because I feel like sports now, it's like, if you're not, like, going to college for this sport when you're 6 years old, like, you're not doing it. It would be so overwhelming for him, and he has been able to try so many sports, and he's found the ones, and he's a sporty kid. Did not get that from me, but he's a sporty kid, and so he loves this, and that has probably been the biggest game changer for us, because not only is he getting active and learning to, like, work in a team setting, he has also now been with these peers for 4 years playing these different sports, and he's grown up with them. And it's a wide range. Like, he's grown up with kids his age. He's grown up with kiddos who maybe have Down syndrome who are 24 years old, but he's known them for the last 4 years, and now they're watching him grow up. And
Oh,
it it's the highlight of my week every week, whatever sport we're doing. Right now, he's doing flag football, and it's just the best. It's the best. So those are
I
kind of
love
the
that.
things that, like, we've been involved with throughout the years. Um, and that's that community. Those are those tools that I knew were in my future when we got that diagnosis. I might not have known the name of the tool yet, but I knew they were coming, and that was a good feeling.
That's great.
Yeah,
Do you, sorry if you mentioned this already, but
no,
do you feel like society has changed in a positive way through all of this?
100%.
Because I
Yeah,
noticed like at the movie theater now they have
like
what do
sensory.
they call it? Sensory nights. Yeah.
Yeah,
So like
that's
they have like the
right.
lights up a little bit, the music
yeah,
a little bit lower, and I'm
yep,
like, how cool is that? Like what else have you noticed has
yeah,
changed?
I think just like with a lot of other things in our society, I think we have grown exponentially in the last couple decades. I think we are far from where we could be, but I think as a society we have grown a ton. And I do think that there are a lot more inclusivity and just understanding. I think it is just more understanding. I
And the
think
awareness, yeah.
an awareness. Yeah, yeah. And it is, I don't know if it's just cuz we know how to diagnose it now, or if there truly is an uptick in autism, but it is a lot more prevalent right now. Um so I do think society has kind of been able to fall in line with that and be like, you know, you're not going to get it from everyone, of course, just like with anything, but I think there is a lot more just understanding and know-how. Yeah.
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 Well, and I think it helps the kids too, like, and adults too, that have been struggling with this and they felt like where he was at, where it's like, I'm just stupid, I'm never gonna get it. It's like, no, like there is a way. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you need to try, we need to try, we
Yeah.
all need to support each other
Yeah.
and, be aware, have the awareness.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think it's cool that there's those nonprofits out there that coordinate that. I remember when
Incredible.
he was little, I mean maybe like 5, because you had your second at that point, but I would go with you guys to that farm, and there was that family that they would just, it was so simple. They
Yes.
would just go and get the eggs from the chickens, and they would let the little one come too. Like, it wasn't, nope,
Yeah.
only the first kid, but it was just the sweetest little, like, things you don't even think that kids really need in their life. They need
Yes.
that
Yes.
normalcy, and like, test it out, see the world, see that there's more than
Yeah.
just your toys at home, you
Yeah, and
know?
I think that was also a big thing for us with our son, was
Mm.
even though he was given this so-called box to live in, we were like, "Screw that box. Like, we're gonna do everything else because you deserve it, and why not?" And
Yeah,
so it it was never easy, but we always pushed him outside of his box, even if it was just slightly or a lot. We always tried to push him a little bit outside of the box, and I think every kid needs that. I think every person
Definitely.
needs that. Like,
Yeah.
we all need that at times, and, we are an active family. We don't like to sit still. We are always doing something, and it wasn't always easy. I don't know if it was ever easy, but it was but we found our tools and tricks that worked for our family to help make it work. And I think because of the experiences and the knowledge that he has learned, up to this point, I do feel like has made a big difference. And I feel like it's opened up avenues that would normally not be open for him, because I
Sure.
think he sees the world now and is able to understand, like, oh, well, like, I've visited there and they do this there, like, why can't I do that? And things like that. And so I think that's just so important. Is I mean, and I also think that as a parent, that's kind of our job, is to open doors for them and be like, take a peek. What does
Mhm.
that look like? Like, does that look interesting? And, you know, could we try that? And yeah, it might be hard. It might be a little overwhelming at times, but trying it, like, just trying it is a big deal. A big deal, I think.
Yeah. Dude, that's just so cool. Um, I wanted to ask another question.
Mhm.
Um, how would you, being the parent, uh, suggest to the world to how we can help autistic? I don't even
Patience.
want to just say, oh,
Mm.
patience. Okay.
Patience. And I think with like everything else, kindness. I think I think we could all give 1% more kindness to anyone and everyone. And I think even that 1% from everyone could change lives. And
I agree with that.
yeah, yeah. And I do. I think just patience and don't assume. I think that's a big one.
Makes an ass out of
No,
you and me.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Don't assume. And if you truly have a question, ask a question. Like, I think that's where that learning and educator thing comes in. If we're all willing to just learn and educate a little bit, I think we can grow so much more.
Yeah.
Um, Even if it is just a simple, like, "Hey, I'm really sorry to bother you, but, like, I've noticed your son's having a hard time, like, is everything okay? Like, can I
How
help with
can I help?
something?"
Yeah.
And even if it's just a simple answer of, like, "No problem, he struggles with X, Y, and Z, and thank you for asking because it doesn't make me feel alone."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think I'm sure there can be a lot of things, but I think those little things go a long way. Yeah.
I feel that in society alone, and this is just like the cherry on top, like also to help people who might be having a rough day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because honestly, they could just be you don't know what they're going through. Like you don't know,
No,
even on
you
the
don't.
road, like you don't know why they're driving fast, why they're being an ass.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
stay out of their way. Like don't
Yeah.
make things worse.
And we're
Just
all guilty of it. I mean,
yeah,
we're all guilty of
yeah. How dare
driving down the
you?
road and being like, "Oh my god, like, why are they driving so slow?" And it's like, "Oh, they're I don't know, something." And
I
it's
don't know. They're
just
But that's
yeah, yeah, it's hard, we all get frustrated and annoyed, and that's just human nature, but
Mhm.
I think I think one thing I learned with my kids is taking a step back, taking a breath, and honestly picking my battles. You know,
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
them not
I say
eating
that all the
that
time.
4th chicken nugget, I am not gonna die on that hill. I like, they're eating. Awesome. Like, like, I think picking my battles really taught me has taught me patience, honestly. It's and I think I've carried it into the rest of my life too, you know. If that person's walking too slow in front of me and I'm getting frustrated, walk around him. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? You know, like just move on.
Right.
I was
Okay.
thinking that today I was driving behind someone slow and I was anxious to get to where I needed to go, and a roundabout was coming up and I was like, should I just like drive around the roundabout like 4 times so that he gets ahead of me for a little bit and then I
Yeah,
can like
right.
chill the F out?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I
Whatever
mean,
it takes.
I also feel like being able being in tune with yourself and being able to recognize like I messed up or I did wrong. Like you said earlier, Ash, like, you know, looking back on a picture and being like, or a video and being like, I was so angry that day. Like, I don't feel good about that. Like, but recognizing that's huge.
Mhm.
That's something that I think most people struggle with is being able to recognize and just apologize for that. I remember a quick story. We got invited to a birthday party, which when my son was like 6 years old, which did not happen a lot when he was younger because he had a lot of conflict with other kiddos. Socially, he wasn't quite there. Um, we got invited to a birthday party. It was at a pool. We were really excited. Um, we I have to be very prepared and like have a checklist with him because if anything goes awry, the day's done pretty
Mhm.
much. And so we, you know, we have the present, we have our swim stuff, we have everything ready. We go to the party and we're getting ready to go into the pool and come to find out the mom did not inform me I had to get in also. Even though it was like all shallow, I had to get in also and I did not have my swimsuit. And I kind of exploded and I was like, "No one told me." And now all everything going through my head is my son's going to freak out. We're never going to be able to come back to the party because I had to go get
Oh.
my swimsuit. And I was like, he's going to miss out. So like there's a million things going through my head and I kind of explode on this like 18-year-old girl. Eve, we go get the swimsuit, we come back, we get in the pool, everything's good. I see the 18-year-old girl again. I I'm probably gonna cry, sorry. I
Oh.
go up to her and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I exploded and there was a lot of things going through my mind and my son and blah 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 blah. And I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like that was on me. And I shouldn't have done that. And she was just like, "Oh my god, like, thank you." And it was just, like, this eye-opening moment, sorry, of, like,
I can't hug you.
I know.
okay, hug myself.
There we
Uh,
go.
and it was just, like, this eye-opening moment of, like, I need to be teaching my kids too that, like, I do wrong, like, we all
Mhm.
do wrong, and there's nothing wrong with going back out and apologizing and
No.
being like, "Look, like I messed up. Like you did not deserve that and that was like so wrong of me and I don't want you to think that people can treat you like that because they
Yeah,
can't."
right.
And I think teaching my kids that too is so important and teaching other people that because we all freak out, things happen. It's been a horrible day, you know, like it happens. Um, but I think owning it and and growing from it is the hard part. But if you're able to, then yeah, you're growing. It's just yeah,
Well, and
you're
that
pushing it forward.
the humbleness that you showed even to that girl, like, your son may have been watching you at that point, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
that girl,
But
like,
even
at
more
that moment,
importantly, yeah,
yeah, she was like, "Wow," like, she apologized. It probably, messed with her day too, and
totally.
then
Totally. And
she
like I
after
don't
that
want to be
moment,
that
she's like,
person.
"Wow," like, she probably learned that she can apologize when she makes mistakes,
And
and it's
hopefully
just
other
like
people saw it too.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like it sorry to just
Well,
I knew it would happen eventually and I try to hold it together. Just the waterworks come.
Well, plus she probably felt like an idiot at that time. She's like, oh, I didn't put that in the invitation or whatever that, and she was probably like doubting her self-worth and all that stuff. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm so dumb for not
Yeah,
saying that.
yeah.
And then you doing what you did probably was like, okay,
Yeah.
we're okay.
I
Like everything's
deserved this or
okay.
whatever. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So,
And I think those are like those moments that like when I think about them and I talk about them like now all these years later is when I do get like flustered and emotional because I'm like it was those it was every moment of the day like if we not even if we left the house but anything we did anytime we did anything there was this constant checklist in my head of like okay, we're about to do this. He's going to freak out if this happens and we're going to have to leave. Or, this is going to go really bad if this happens. What can we do to prepare for
Mhm.
that? And that's where those tools would come in handy, the headphones or his fidgets or
Well,
certain clothing even would
mhm.
help. Yeah.
I remember when I watched him, I think it was when guys were having your second one, I was watching him and
Yeah.
you're like, whatever you do, give him cereal with this spoon.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's
100%.
like, you don't want to find out what happens if you grab a different spoon.
It's
And I was
just
like,
not
I
worth
got the spoon.
It's like on the wall with a spotlight on it. Like,
Yes.
there it is.
have the spoon.
But it's true. Like, that was the part of that, like, learning to pick your battles.
Mhm.
Like, who cares if he used a different spoon? That was not a hill I was going to die on. If he wants that freaking spoon, he's going to use that spoon. And
He's
gosh
gonna
darn
eat
it,
his
I'm going to
food.
bring it everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like beat to crap because it was brought everywhere.
And I think he even would, like, chew on it.
Yes, I
Like,
saw. I was
it
like,
even
wasn't it
had,
the
like, bite
plastic?
marks.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think it
it
was
was
like
like
a
the rubbery.
plastic. Yeah, yeah.
It was
Because it
like
was.
part teether, part spoon.
Yes.
Yeah. Even yeah.
You didn't go to the store and buy like 5 of them just for backups.
You would think that would work, but it doesn't because
Yeah.
it's not the right color or
It
it's
hasn't been
Tastes
chewed
different.
on.
Yeah.
it's not worn in like
Yeah.
he had it. Yeah.
I
I've
was nervous
learned
about
that
that
the
with.
hard way a lot of times. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can go buy every color of this." No, I can't.
It's not the same.
Nope. Nope. And
That was one thing I.
he's still like that. Like I have this he's 12 and I have this blanket that I keep on my couch that I got at like Home Goods, like it's just like this thin, nice, like gauzy kind of blanket. I love it and it just kind of sits on my couch. Well, he's commandeered it. It's his blanket now and it's just like a little lap blanket and I was like, "Oh, if he loves it that much, like I'll
I'll
buy
get
him
him
like
a
a queen size one for his bed." Nope. He wants nothing to do with that one. He wants the lap blanket that he stole from the couch and that's it. We're done. Like,
He's like, stop trying, Mom. I like this one.
yeah. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll return the other one. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, the things you have to learn. I
I
mean,
know.
not
Yeah.
just with autism, but like with
With
all kids,
every
but
kid.
that's like, a level up. Like
Yeah.
you're like, all right,
Oh,
you try the best that you freaking can.
Yes.
Sometimes it doesn't
Yes.
work out, and that's
Yep.
okay.
And you just have to sit back and laugh or cry.
or
And
both
that's okay.
at the same
Yeah.
time.
Man, if you think I thought I was a crier before I had kids, God,
We were
now
just
I
talking about this.
We were
now I
just talking
cry
about
at the
this.
middle of Target and people are looking at me and I'm like, I'm just getting a good cry in. Like, don't you worry. Like they're like, this crazy lady.
Or they're like, been
Like,
there.
Yeah, I would have been like, I see you, girl. I see
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'll get you a Reese's. I'll be right back.
I have gone up and hugged multiple strangers because I've
Yes, me
seen a mom
too.
cry in a parking lot and I'm like, you need a hug, honey. Like,
Yes.
you need
Oh,
to be embraced right now.
I
Yeah.
never see anybody
Oh my God.
cry. I can't relate. But
Well,
if I do, I
and then
mean,
I
okay, in my
cry.
defense, I do everything picking up. Like I go pick up everything. I don't ever go into stores anymore. It's
Yeah.
my fault.
Well, it's
Yeah.
because you're just not in around humans. You need to be
Yeah.
around humans.
Well,
Yeah.
damn it. There's the
Yeah,
flaw.
it's hard, man, when I'm a Cancer, so it's like it's in my blood. I cry all the time. And yeah, if someone else cries, I cry. If someone's telling a story, I cry. I it's I own it.
That's fair. You gotta
Oh my
own those
gosh.
things, because
Yeah, you
otherwise you're trying to
do.
like
It's
choke
part
it
of
back,
me.
and you're like
Exactly.
literally choking or something.
Yeah,
Because you're like,
yeah. I'd
it's
probably
fine.
turn like blue. I'd be like, "What's wrong with her? She's trying not to cry right now for the 8th time today."
That's her no cry face.
Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, she's about to pass out, but it's okay. Don't
It's fine.
don't worry
Just don't
about
look
her.
at her. Just don't
Don't
make
make
eye
eye
Oh my
contact.
contact.
gosh.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
Oh,
gosh, that's funny.
well, Ashley, thank you so much for being on
Of
this
course, thanks
podcast
for
with us.
having me.
This was very great and knowledgeable, and I still feel like I learned stuff, and I've known the kid his whole life. So
I'm still learning stuff all the time, you know? That's how it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is crazy, but again, I think you and your husband are just doing a fantastic job. And
Thank
I know that you were really involved in that community, and I'm assuming that you still are, because it's
Yeah.
part of your life. And like you were talking about, it being so relevant even now. And I just hope that you're helping guide people through and showing, like, hey, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I know right now it's hard because that freaking
Yes.
spoon you accidentally left at
Yes.
home, but you're gonna make it, I
Yes.
swear.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. And I think that's all, especially as any kind of mom, I think that's all we need is just to is connection. That's all anyone needs. We're all just looking for connection.
yeah,
Some sort of connection in life. And to not have that feeling of being alone is huge, cuz we already put it on ourselves, so you just feel so alone sometimes, but you're not. And
Yeah.
so to be able to have that connection, even if it's short and small, it can make a big difference.
All right, don't start crying again.
I know. Not gonna
Like,
guarantee it.
but that is true. So like even in a store, making a connection to somebody who needs a hug, to
It's
right.
true.
just be there.
Yeah.
Motherhood, man. It's
Yeah. I know.
it's intense.
It's a
It's
journey.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun times.
Well, I do have a quote here that I feel like is pretty fitting, with, you know, what we talked about in the very beginning about it starting with the village and everything. This is it just hits perfect. All right, it says autism doesn't come with an instruction guide. It comes with a family who will never give up. And Carrie Magro said that.
That's
Very
like right
smart
on.
person. I know,
Yeah.
right? I was
Yeah.
like, this is perfect. I
No,
say
I
that every
love
time
that.
though, so
And it's
just
true.
shut up.
You do it I wouldn't be where I am without my husband, without my mom, without, my aunt and uncle who have gone through this before,
Hmm.
and and everyone else. It really does make a
But
difference.
the boys included. I mean, they help.
100%. Oh
They
yeah.
help each other. They help you guys. You
Yeah.
guys are a team.
Yeah. And they are so much like us. It's hilarious and
And
sometimes
scary.
bad. I'm like, I'm so sorry. My younger son cries all the time. Yeah, and I'm like, I got you, buddy. It's all good. We'll go cry together.
What is it, like the cuddle puddle? You could have like a cry puddle. Come on.
Totally, totally. And then
Cuddle
we
puddle.
laugh,
Stop
you
it.
know? Yeah, we laugh and then we make fun of ourselves and, it's healthy.
Great. I think it is healthy. Like truly
Yeah,
though, I do think it is
yeah,
healthy. We
I
got to
think so
get it
too.
out.
I
And then that's
agree.
the whole also
Yeah.
like, you're teaching them that men can cry and that kind of stuff. Like you got to work through your emotions. Like
Yes.
there's so many other levels to this that you're doing
100%.
great. You're
Yeah.
doing
Well,
great.
thank you.
Well, please remember to like, follow, and comment to connect with us. We are now on Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook pages. Just search Calling Cousins. Love you all. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal, health, tax, or professional advice. We are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from the use of this podcast. This podcast is not intended to replace professional medical advice.